Unsung Murder Ballads discusses topics of a graphic nature and in graphic detail and may not be suitable for children under 13. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Unsung Murder Ballads. This is episode 46. I am Janus Dead.
I am Jameson Dead.
And I'm Joyous Dead.
And we just want to give out a huge shout out to Lynn, who has been commenting a lot on our Spotify account. Thank you, Lynn.
Oh, we love getting all the comments. We love the feedback. I mean, it's great to have you guys get engaged with us. I mean, always tell us what you think, what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of.
Exactly. And I apologize for us taking so long because you've been commenting on these as you listen to them, but I never remember to check that page. So I apologize that it's been so long. All right. So by the time this episode airs, there will be just a few days until Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That's right. And any other holiday you all celebrate, we're choosing to talk about Christmas because this episode took place on Christmas Eve.
Oh.
Oh,
Yes.
that's going to be an intense setting.
Yeah, and I do have to say, we don't promise to do a Christmas episode every Christmas, nor do we promise to do any holiday at a particular holiday. And I also know that this case has been covered on other podcasts for a Christmas episode for them, but this is such a good case, I couldn't resist.
We'll put our own little twist on it.
I just assume that everyone here, all of our listeners, know as little as I do, and so they've never heard of any crime before.
That's an interesting take, Joyous.
I've literally never heard of a crime.
No, I'm sure you've never heard of any crimes.
Yeah, it's true. I'm so innocent.
Now, unfortunately, this one, I'm sure all of our listeners know, but you know what? They haven't heard us talk about it. And the best part is because you guys don't know anything about it, we get that response, which is really what is so good about it.
All right, well, lay it on me. Maybe
Yeah,
by
it's
a
always fun to see
Christmas
what you
miracle.
throw at us.
Yeah, wait, I'm sorry. Maybe by a Christmas miracle, what?
Maybe by a Christmas miracle, I'll know of the case.
I'd be surprised considering you didn't know anything about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Good point. Or Ted Bundy. Or
Right.
anyone. So.
Oh, don't worry. We have plans for you, my dear.
Oh, my.
Oh, because that
no.
doesn't sound sinister at all.
Not at all.
Well, this is the setting.
All right, so Christmas Eve, Covina, California, 2008. 8-year-old Katrina Yuzefpolsky was celebrating the holiday with her family when there was a knock at the door. She looked out and she saw Santa Claus holding a bag. She cried out that Santa was there and ran to the door without hesitation, and she opened it.
Oh, man.
I don't like the way
awful
this is starting.
Santa looked down at her. Then he pulled out a gun and he shot her in the face.
No.
What the
Oh, my
fuck?
God.
Yes. This is the tragic and terrifying story of the Covina Christmas Massacre.
Oh, God.
A massacre?
A massacre. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So last week we did have the Richard Speck episode, and this isn't dissimilar, except not quite as intense and long and drawn out.
Oh.
You ready?
Before we start, can we define what defines a massacre?
So a massacre is like a spree killing. It's it's a murder of a large group of people in a very short amount of time. So they're kind of the same thing. A massacre could refer to something that went on for a long time, but it's generally in a vicinity.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if it meant something very specific or whatever, because it's a lot of things. I guess every spree killing could really be a massacre.
And they technically would be, yes.
Got you. Okay.
In fact, I was just researching a bank heist that literally was a shootout in the neighborhood of the bank with police, with fully automatic weapons.
Holy shit.
Holy crud.
I had forgotten it happened until I saw just some little thing on YouTube, on the little sidebar. And I stopped and watched this whole hour-long documentary on it. But because the perpetrators were the only ones killed, I don't know that we'd cover it, but it was insane. And I thought, had they actually killed anybody, that could have potentially been a massacre as well.
Yeah. I mean, kind of crazy they didn't if you're saying there's like semi-automatic weapons.
Yeah, they went into the basically they went into the bank, they opened fire to the ceiling and demanded all the money. And
Mm-hmm.
what ended up happening was they had planned this, like they had done this amazing amount of planning, and in fact had robbed multiple banks before and had made off with $1.5 million so far.
Shit.
On that particular day, the police happened to drive by
Oh,
as the
unlucky.
masked
Talk
men were
about awful
walking
timing.
in. Yeah. So their this window of time they thought they had shrunk to 0. And
Yeah, that's not ideal.
yeah, but the problem was the police set up their perimeter. They thought they were all ready to go. But then these two men walk out wearing homemade bulletproof armor like nothing they had ever seen,
Oh, that's bizarre.
Crud.
with high powered, fully automatic weapons with armor piercing bullets that literally ripped through their cop cars.
Why the fuck did they have access to this equipment?
I don't know. They were ordering it from other countries. I do know that.
Oh, and it got smuggled. What the fuck?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
America.
Yeah. So, and anyway, in the end, only the perpetrators died. And it's funny because there was a moment where the police knew they were outgunned. One of the men had gotten into their getaway car, and the police watched. They were going to let them leave because the bank was right on like the edge of a residential area. They actually wanted them to go so they could kind of follow them and pick and choose their time. But the guy who didn't get into the car just stopped and decided, nope. And he just opened fire on the police. And from that point on, it was like a shootout.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was intense. I'll look up the name of it. I should have had it ready. I think it was called the North Hollywood Heist. So you can probably look it up that way.
We'll throw it in post.
Yeah, there you go. Continuing on with the Covina Christmas Massacre.
You almost said Christmas Massacre.
Just funny. I really did. Yes.
That is an entirely different movie.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, no, I'm going to stop.
No comment.
All right. So Bruce Pardo lived in the San Fernando Valley and was a graduate from high school there, as well as the California State University in Northridge. He had worked at a jet propulsion laboratory in La Canada, Flint Ridge. So put that in your back pocket.
Interesting.
Pardo was in his mid-30s when he fathered a child with his then girlfriend, Elena. When their son was just over a year old, Elena went to the grocery store, leaving Pardo watching their son. At some point, the toddler made his way outside and fell into the backyard pool.
No.
An undetermined time later, Pardo found him there in the pool, unresponsive.
Oh, no.
When Elena returned home, she found Pardo holding the tiny, unconscious boy in his arms. The boy was alive.
Oh, my God. You scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, you had my heart stop there. I was waiting on bated breath for the result here.
I know. That's what I do.
You're an evil man.
They raced the boy to the hospital, but despite receiving the best care possible, he suffered severe brain damage and would be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
Oh, poor kid.
He's still alive.
Shortly after this, Pardo made some sort of financial arrangement with the mother of his child, and he walked away and would never see his son again.
What the
that's
fuck?
Just shitty.
Yeah, he's a douchebag.
Absolutely. Absolute fuckhead.
Pardo would also never pay any child support.
Motherfucker.
Okay, that just makes it even worse.
Yeah.
That poor mother.
Well, she may be one of the lucky ones here.
Yikes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. In 2004, he met Sylvia Ortega, who had 3 children of her own. The couple wed in January of 2006, and their marriage quickly fell apart within the first year.
Imagine my surprise.
For some reason, Pardo refused to open a joint bank account with Sylvia. And just saying, one would think that would be a discussion before you got married.
You would really think, but some people just be getting married.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I got married quickly too, but we had plans. We knew what we were doing.
Right. But some people don't.
Yeah, and clearly this guy's just a dick. Because you ready for this?
Oh, am I?
Boy. I don't know. Are you?
I don't know. Lay it on me.
He also expected Sylvia to use her own finances to take care of her 3 children.
That's fucking sucks.
Yeah, douchebag. So my thing is, you chose this woman, you chose to be in this woman's life, right? She came in with 3 kids. Now, whether you wanted to be or not, that's a package deal.
100%.
Yeah. So he's a douchebag, like 100% a douchebag.
Unless it benefits him.
Well, sure. Right, but he's still a douchebag.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I know.
facts.
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that's probably his mentality.
Right.
Yeah, he's just a shithead.
So by December of 2007, Sylvia Pardo was sleeping in another room and spending weekends with her parents.
Oh no.
2 months later, she told him she wanted a divorce. She filed court papers asking for the attorney fees and $3,166 in monthly spousal support.
Damn, that's a lot of spousal support. How much money was he making?
Well, he was working for like that jet propulsion company.
You're right. He was making good money, but still, that's a lot, even if you're making good money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Like, I can't imagine giving $3,000 a month to somebody.
Right. I can't imagine he was making that much money.
I honestly don't. I couldn't find exactly how much he was making.
Right.
Now, Sylvia claimed that he had drawn down their savings account from $88,000 to $17,000 in just 2 months.
Holy shit. What the fuck was he buying?
I don't know. And he was transferring funds to a private account.
Oh, so they did have a joint account. He was just taking shit out of it.
Or he was taking it from hers.
Just from her account. Wow, what a motherfucker.
Now, she stated in court documents that the situation in their home had become untenable and the continuing on with their marriage was just not an option. Now, there is some speculation that the divorce may have also been caused by, and I'm not kidding, the fact that Pardo had never told her about his disabled son.
What?
Yeah, this douchebag just never even brought him up.
What? Oh,
wow. I mean, he clearly is considering him not a part of his life.
Right. But it's just weird that...
No, it's weird and fucking sucky.
Yeah.
It's in line with his behavior and it sucks.
So in June of 2008, a divorce court ordered Pardo to pay $1,785 a month in spousal support, which is more in line to what I would expect.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Although considering the kids aren't his, it's a little weird. I still think that might be a little too much, but California is very strong on child support for the mothers.
And I also think that like it depends a lot on what he makes.
That's true too.
It's always proportional.
That's very true too. I keep forgetting that part.
Yeah, it's like if you make a fuckload of money, even if they like are getting like probably like a percentage based, like I don't know, of your monthly take home.
Yeah, they probably figure out what you can afford, and then from there it's a percentage. Yeah, that makes sense.
And after all that fucking money he drained from her account, for fucking real.
If she can prove that, that's the other side.
True, that's always hard.
So during the divorce proceedings, Pardo confided to a friend of his that his wife was, quote, taking him to the cleaners, unquote. Yeah. In July, Pardo was fired from his job for billing false hours.
Oopsie.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Oh, God.
It should be noted that at this point, Pardo has no criminal history and didn't show any signs of violent tendencies, so there are no red flags in these areas.
He's just an asshole.
He's
not
just
illegal to be an asshole.
Douchebag. So the divorce court suspended his support payments because of his financial hardships.
That makes sense?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, it's like if you can't pay, you can't pay.
That's true, but still, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
However, as part of the divorce settlement, Pardo was required to pay his ex-wife $10,000. Yeah, my guess is because of the money he took.
Exactly, that makes sense. So good for her. She got him for that.
And she was permitted to keep the wedding ring and their family dog.
Nice.
Which for some people, that might be what pushes you over the edge. For some people.
That's true.
Pardo complained to the court that Sylvia was living with her parents, not paying rent, and had spent lavishly on a luxury car, gambling trips to Vegas, meals at expensive restaurants, massages, and golf lessons. And this was his argument to not have to pay her this money. But realistically, it's her money. She can do whatever the fuck she wants with it.
That's true.
As long as she's not neglecting her kids.
Exactly. As long as, like, whatever. If it's court ordered, it's court ordered.
Exactly. Then came Christmas Eve, 2008.
Oh, no.
In the dining room of the Covina home, Joseph Ortega, who is also called Papa Joe, and his wife of 53 years, as well as their children, had been playing a late night game of Texas Hold'em after a Christmas Eve dinner. The grandchildren played video games and hung out near the backyard pool. On the second floor, the Ortega's 17-year-old grandson Michael was playing on the computer. At approximately 11:30 p.m., Pardo, dressed in a Santa Claus suit, knocked on the door of his former in-laws' house. I do want to make a note here. 11:30 sounds late for someone to be knocking at your door. However, in a lot of cultures, celebrating the Christmas holiday on Christmas Eve, really late or into the early morning hours, is kind of a tradition.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So
honestly, I was more surprised by when you said hanging out by the pool on Christmas.
Yeah,
and then I realized we're talking about like Southern California.
Yeah, this is Southern California.
That was another moment of I have to remind myself of where we are.
Yeah, I was like, hey, what?
I honestly didn't even catch that. That's funny.
Our Southern Hemisphere listeners will understand. They wouldn't have bat an eye. I'm always in the pool on Christmas. It's the best pool day.
Right? Let's do it.
I would love that.
So with a knock on the front door, there came the squeal of 8-year-old Katrina happily crying, Santa Claus, Santa Claus. Moments after the door opened, Pardo pulled out a handgun and immediately shot his 8-year-old niece Katrina in the face.
What the fuck?
It's so tragic.
Is this his like recent ex-wife's family?
Correct. This is Sylvia's family.
Oh my God.
So the accounts of the next few minutes are compiled from different sources. So I am trying my best. I tried my best to put them in a chronological order so that it made some sense, because obviously eyewitness testimony in these situations are going to be very chaotic.
Yes.
So I did my best. Bear with me. Pardo began firing indiscriminately at fleeing party goers, hitting a man by the name of James Ortega. According to relatives, one of the Ortega's sons, Charles, recognized Pardo as the gunman and cried out, "It's Bruce," which is his first name. Charles Ortega was then shot right after his brother James had been hit.
Oh.
Now, Irma Ortega reported that both James and Charles struggled to get up after they were wounded. Oh. She said, quote, "Even bloodied, they got up, they stood up. They tried to stop him. They tried to grab him, but they couldn't," unquote.
Oh.
The elder Ortegas, Joseph, who was 80, and Alicia, his wife, who was 70, and 3 of their daughters dove under the dining room table along with their daughter-in-law, Teresa. Someone started screaming, "Run, run." Of those that hid under the table, the only one to survive was their daughter, Letitia, the mother of 8-year-old Katrina, who had been shot at the door.
Oh.
Letitia said, "I heard the shots. Everyone started panicking and running, and we all just dove under the table." Chapa Ortega said her cousin Letitia made a break for it after seeing her wounded daughter Katrina get up and stagger out of the house.
What?
She survived. The girl got shot in the face.
What?
Yeah.
Holy crud.
That's amazing.
Investigators said that although Pardo had shot her in the face, Katrina saved herself by turning her head at the last moment, and the bullet struck her along the side of her jaw.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, so believing she was dead, Pardo stepped over her and went into the house.
Holy shit.
Fucking crazy.
Well, I'm glad she survived.
In my mind, like as an 8-year-old, when that happens, like what do you do? Like the fact that she just got up and left the house is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like if she thought that was her escape.
Yeah, but your whole family is in the other direction. Like it just doesn't.
That's true. I mean, out of a child with an undeveloped brain, I would say the self-preservation instinct makes sense first.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. It's just crazy to me, regardless, because I'm just trying to picture what I might have done. But
True.
I don't think I'd be able to have enough wherewithal to run away from the people I love.
yeah, the whole thing's crazy. And we're going to touch on something truly tragic at the end of this, but
Oh
we'll
no.
get there. On the phone with police, Letitia screamed, "I need someone to come over and help my daughter. She's bleeding. She's been shot in the side of her face." Some of the adults grabbed children and carried them out of the house. Investigators believe that almost all of the younger people were saved because they were in the back of the house closer to either the TV or the pool when Pardo started opening fire.
Mm-hmm.
Once Pardo was done with the guns, he then unwrapped the package that he was carrying with him. The package contained a customized compressor that he had modified to spray an accelerant, and he began to set the house on fire.
Holy shit, he made his
Holy
own
crud.
fucking flamethrower?
Yeah, this dude literally made a homemade fucking flamethrower.
Jesus,
That's just twisted.
what a maniac.
Now remember, he used to work at a jet propulsion laboratory.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense why he had all that shit and knew how to do it.
Yeah. So the resulting fire soared approximately 40 to 50 feet in the air, like an explosion.
Oh my god.
It took 80 firefighters an hour and a half to put this fire out.
Holy
Damn.
shit. That's a lot of firefighters.
Right on one street. It's crazy.
I guess there was like just so much fuel.
Yeah, because of the fuel and how intensely it was burning, like you
Oh my
just had to keep
God.
at it. Yeah. So due to the intensity of the fire, identification of the victims was done with dental and medical records.
Oh, that's
Now,
awful.
although Katrina was wounded, as was a 16-year-old girl who was shot in the back, the only child killed in the attack was Michael Ortiz, who was the 17-year-old that was upstairs playing on the computer.
Oh,
Michael was apparently killed by the explosion and or fire that was started by Pardo with his ridiculous flamethrower thing.
that's
That's
awful.
awful.
In total, 9 people died from either gunfire or flames, and 3 others were wounded.
Oh my God. That's like, he just like decimated half a family.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so fucking awful.
Now, of the wounded, there was one 20-year-old family member who suffered a broken ankle because they were smart enough or lucky enough to jump out a second-story window when the fire started.
Yep, that's smart.
Wow. That's luck.
One survivor escaped during the attack and had run to a neighbor's house where they called authorities.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Pardo did not escape unscathed. He suffered burns from the flame attack,
Makes
and
sense.
he must have not accounted for just how intense the fire was going to be, or there may have been a leak of some kind in his little makeshift flamethrower.
That makes sense.
So after setting the house on fire, Pardo put on his street clothes and drove his Dodge Caliber rental car to his brother's house, about 30 miles away from the crime scene. And this is where he would later be found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Fucker.
What a coward.
Now, his brother was not present in the home at the time of his death. Now, interestingly, his plan wasn't to kill himself. Investigators found an airline ticket to Canada in his possession.
Huh.
So he had been burned so badly that he knew he wasn't going to make it.
Oh, and so he
that's
thought he
why
wasn't going to
killed himself.
escape?
Correct. And as they kept looking into it, he bought a plane ticket to Canada and even called a friend of his that lived in Illinois, kind of saying, "Hey, I'm traveling up to Canada, but I'm going to stop down in that area to visit." And he did all this stuff, but the more they looked into it, the less likely it looked that he was actually going to go there. And that may have just been something to throw off investigators.
Mm-hmm.
Now, other reports stated that the Santa suit had melted during the flamethrower portion of his attack and adhered to part of his skin, and he couldn't get it all removed. And that was part of what his injuries were.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Gross.
And that's where they believe that he decided he couldn't go through with the first part of his plan and killed himself.
Wow.
On his body, police found $17,000 in cash.
What
Holy
the fuck?
shit.
It was saran wrapped around his legs and inside a girdle.
What? Oh, what?
Yeah. And basically, they think that most likely he was going to try to get on a plane with that money like on his person to avoid detection. Because keep in mind, I think this is before they were x-raying like every person that got onto a plane.
Right, or like just yeah, definitely before the like body scanner things.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, because
Yeah,
now you couldn't do it. But back then, if you had, anything in your pocket that wasn't metal, they didn't really know about.
true.
So his rental car, which was parked 1 block from his brother's house, had the remnants of his Santa suit, the parts that he could get off his body. And
Ugh.
inside, they also recovered 4 13-round capacity handguns that were empty and at least 200 rounds of ammunition.
Holy shit.
Damn, he was armed to the teeth.
Right. So at this point, the police think that the car itself and what might be in it could be a threat. And they called the bomb squad in. And they attempted to, so the bomb squad got there and they used a robot, like a remote control thing to go over.
Mm-hmm.
And it attempted to remove the Santa suit. But somehow the robot accidentally started a fire with the Santa suit and all the what the fumes or whatever. And the whole car went up in flames, destroying the car and any other evidence that might have been in it.
Go figure.
Damn.
Yeah, and that should tell you right there just how dangerous the accelerant he was using was.
Yeah, like he was really had some fucking jet fuel, huh?
Fucking crazy. Now, at his home, police recovered 5 empty boxes of ammunition for semi-automatic handguns, a tactical shotgun, and a container for the high-octane fuel.
Oh my god.
And they described what they found in that house as a virtual bomb factory.
Yikes.
Yeah. So, in a way, that area is lucky he only targeted one family.
Yeah, when we first started talking about this, I was scared that it would be that. They like went house to house as Santa and fucking killed people like a nightmare.
Like that shitty horror movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I haven't seen it, but probably.
It's terrible and yet awesome at the same time. I think it's good because it's so bad.
Love that. Favorite genre.
So at least 3 victims, their deaths were caused by gunshot wounds alone, while 4 others died as a combination of gunshot wounds and fire. 13 children were orphaned because of this massacre.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Oh,
And
that is so fucking awful.
And 2 others had lost a single parent.
Oh.
So the victims included Sylvia Ortega Pardo, 43, Alicia Ortega, 70, Joseph Ortega, 79, Charles Ortega, 50, Sherry Lynn Ortega, 45, James Ortega, 52, Teresa Ortega, 52, Alicia Ortega Ortiz, 46, and Michael Andre Ortiz, 17.
It's so awful that they were all
so
cut
much
down
of a family.
that young.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so many. And I mean, there's a part of me that thinks, well, at least some of them all went together, but still, like, that doesn't help anyone at all.
No, that's just, I feel like that is simply worse.
Yeah, all right. I always picture like a married couple dying together as kind of at least they went out together kind of thing.
There, I see where you're coming from there.
Right. So years later, Letitia Yuzefpolsky, the youngest of the 5 adult children, became the reluctant matriarch, maintaining the tight-knit family's tradition and happier memories.
Oh.
Letitia worked to save Christmas for her kids, telling them that it wasn't the real Santa that did that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the fucking real heartbreaking moment there, because how traumatic is that shit?
Oh, literally. Oh, that's so sad.
Fucked up. And while she was in the hospital, she even called friends to make sure the kids in her family got gifts put under their trees.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
my
great.
heart.
Everyone
Holy
to step
shit.
up.
Fucking crazy. The kids were later sent to a camp that helps with grief. For Letitia, years of therapy have helped, although she still suffers from PTSD, anxiety, and nightmares.
Well, yeah,
That
it's
makes
never going to
sense.
fully go away.
That's an insane trauma.
She said, quote, "I lost my identity completely. I always used to tease them that I had 5 sets of parents, Everyone telling me what to do and how to do it. I can't even tell you how much I miss them, unquote.
Oh,
Crazy. I mean, you think about it, like you lose your parents and all of your older siblings in a single moment.
that's
Absolutely
unbearable.
unthinkable.
So, an overwhelming but hard to describe feeling of loss often sneaks up upon her every December.
Of course. Oh, that's so, so heartbreaking.
Quote, every time you turn, there are memories of what we used to have, and then memories of that night. You can't escape it. Christmas
Oh,
will always be there, and we will continue to celebrate it, unquote. I honestly don't think I'd celebrate Christmas ever again after that. Not that I really
yeah,
do now, but
that, oh, it's just so sad.
you know, I'm sorry. You guys are at a loss for words here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's supposed to be a super happy time of year, and you're supposed to be able to be with the ones you love and have those kinds of traditions. And now all of that's tainted for them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find a way to turn it. You're gonna have to do some kind of memorial every year. This is how I would do it.
Yeah.
And
Oh
you
yeah.
have to address it, but not dwell on it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
we're hiring an event staff of therapists. That's really what's going on. Everybody,
Yeah,
so
right.
much therapy. Like, oof.
Can you and think about it, like those little kids that actually believed it was the real Santa. Like you know how you have those the guys
Ooh.
dressed in Santa with the bells at like supermarkets or whatever.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Like everywhere they go, it's going to be one of those moments, you know?
Oh, my heart.
So the family has been especially touched by other tragedies, particularly during the holidays. When a Connecticut woman lost her three daughters and parents in a house fire, Letitia encouraged her daughters to write letters to that woman.
Oh,
When a
that's
gunman
really
killed
sweet.
20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook, she again told them to write letters.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Katrina, the girl who was shot in the face, usually writes, quote, it'll be hard, but just have hope. Don't give up, unquote.
Oh,
Wow.
Letitia started a blog called Letitia's Hope, where she chronicles her life and how she was able to heal and move on from something so horrific. Her daughter Katrina made a complete recovery and has since become a massive gun control advocate, staging walkouts for gun safety and speaking out about her personal experiences. Despite living through something unimaginable, both of them live their lives to honor those that they've lost. Katrina would later say this at her school's hashtag enough is enough student walkout against gun violence. Quote, you're left here on this earth for a reason. You're left here for a purpose. And your job is to keep fighting and to shine that light on everyone else who has been affected. Unquote. So, in my opinion, this family has not only learned to overcome this terrible moment in their lives, but they are truly an inspiration for anyone else who suffers any kind of loss.
and also making a difference.
That's true. Yeah.
They're involved in like gun advocacy and stuff. Like, they're doing whatever they can to prevent it. And I hope that at least that purpose is, it give them something to hope for.
Yeah. And this
And
was like 15 years ago ish.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that long ago. I'm sure they're
It's
still
really not.
active.
and instead of being bitter and hateful, they pay it forward and they try to support people that are going through other tragedies. They don't have to do that, but I'm sure it helps them, feel better about their situation and they want to make a difference and help others in need.
Exactly. And they could have easily wallowed in self pity and lost it in drugs or any other escapism. Yeah. They did it the right way.
Yeah.
And that is the insane Covina Christmas massacre. I mean, I didn't look up anything new. I think Katrina has to be about 23 right now, somewhere in that ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure she's still out there doing good things, but obviously I'm not going to violate people's privacy and dig them up that way. But
Yeah.
and I didn't look up Letitia's Hope blog. I'm hoping she's still doing that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely would be interesting to read that and see what she has to say on a deeper level.
Yeah, I mean, so unfortunately, here we are with this episode bringing everyone into the holiday season with a really depressing story. But I mean, it's funny, a lot of podcasts I've listened to have done this on the Christmas holiday, so I couldn't resist doing it myself. Sorry that I brought you guys down so far. Holy crap.
Oh yeah, man, I'm gonna need to take a couple shots of eggnog before I'm gonna feel better after that.
I'm not gonna lie, I teared up right typing up my notes. Like it's a
Yeah.
hard one. Yeah.
I mean, you had me tearing up in there. Oh, God.
It definitely makes you appreciate what you have and how quickly it can be taken from you.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
sad because realistically, it's just this narcissistic fucking asshole that caused all this pain.
Yeah.
And it's like we have to, I don't know how else to say it. Like we just have to pay attention for people like this and report it. But this guy wasn't sending up any red flags, you
Yeah,
know?
it's crazy. And I guess like if he never broke a law before and he never ended up in a registry and if any like, that laboratory should have kept
Better inventory.
better inventory, but honestly, I've worked in lots of labs. I'm not surprised no one noticed shit disappearing.
Yeah, that's true because I work in a kitchen and there are a lot of times where like, what the hell happened to like this? Only to find out that like a group from a different one of our restaurants came in and took it without talking to somebody, kind of thing.
Yep.
So it's easy to do that.
It's hard to keep inventory.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I'm just thinking like there's got to be some controls, but
Yeah,
I,
especially on like really hazardous substances like that. There probably should have been better.
yeah, like how the hell did he get that jet fuel out of there?
Yeah, and like what vessel? Like
Yeah, that's what I
what?
mean. Was he putting like every day he'd go in and fill a thermos full of it?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
I mean, it's probably like compressed. Like it probably has to be like in a special container.
Yeah, like a tank or something. And
Yeah.
wouldn't somebody be watching the levels, or like
I,
wouldn't there be a checkout system, or like
I don't know. Maybe we should call him.
Let's call them up. And I'm
Like,
sure they're tired of
explain
fucking
this
hearing about
shit.
it.
Yeah, right. Like we told the cops, you people leave us alone.
For real.
But yeah, so that was the crazy case for Christmas, which was episode 46. Thank you,
oh boy.
everyone, for listening. I know I feel so bad. I feel like I brought everyone down, but that's kind of what we do sometimes.
It is kind of the point of this thing. We don't
Yeah,
talk about nice things on this podcast.
not very often. No. But yeah, so thank you all for listening. I am Janice Dead,
I'm Jameson dead.
And I'm Joy is dead.
and we'll see you next week.
Bye.